Hey everyone, Kirostyle here. Welcome back to Hades. So in the last episode, we finally got to maximum hearts with 6 of the 9 Olympians. So now we're finally ready to tackle the Epilogue. So I'm going to go in and talk to Persephone, and that should initiate the little Epilogue sequence. She'll give me a couple tasks to do, and then once I fulfill those, we'll see the cutscene for the Epilogue. Now, my original plan was to have one big, long mega video that had the Epilogue, the aftermath of the epilogue, and then the conclusions to all the side stories. So things like Orpheus and Eurydice, Sisyphus, Patroclus and Achilles, Skelly's past, as well as some other kind of loose ends we have yet to tie up. Now, I'm recording this intro from the future because it turns out there was so much more left in this game than I thought, and it took me quite a bit of time. So I'm actually going to split this mega episode into 2 separate episodes. So it just turned out to be way too long. So in this episode, we'll just strictly cover the epilogue and the aftermath of the epilogue. If you want to see the conclusion to all the separate side stories and all the other remaining loose ends in this game, check out the next video that will be coming out, where I will compile all the clips together there. So the clips may not be completely in chronological order because I'm going to cut out the bits that are related specifically to the side stories, and I'm going to put them together and group them into the next video. So if you notice that anything's kind of a little bit out of place, that's probably the reason why. And I think I went back through the whole video and just checked to make sure that everything was congruent, but I might still make references to having all the clips in one video. Instead, I might say, like, look at the timestamps for each separate side quest, when in fact they aren't in this video. They'll be in the next video. So I'll just timestamp in this video the different sections of the epilogue. So if you want to skip straight to the cutscene of the epilogue and nothing else, you can do that. If you want to see the aftermath of the epilogue, or if you want to see the process to getting the epilogue, you can find those in the timestamps below. And I guess I'll give nectars out to the people that still lack the nectars. Hey, Hypnos.
Whoa, you must have really gotten pretty far out there if you could get me one of these, so wow. And thanks for stopping by.
You lighten up my numerous untimely deaths, Hypnos.
Oh, ha, you just startled me there is all. I was just,
I literally just gave you some nectar.
Hey, everything all right there, Hypnos?
Oh, absolutely. Everything definitely is. It's Thanatos. He said some stuff, and now I'm not so sure I'm doing the best job I can, you know?
Only now that you're questioning it, Hypnos?
I'm sure he wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. Wait, what am I saying? He's always been harsh with you, hasn't he?
Hey, what if he doesn't like me anymore? He's got other brothers.
I'll talk to him.
Zagreus.
He did it again, Cerberus.
You cut her off. Okay, so she has that big exclamation mark over her head, so this means that she should be ready to unlock the epilogue, I think. First, let's give her a nectar.
Thank you very much, my son. You know, gift-giving customs of the underworld are just so much more straightforward than the complicated social graces of Olympus.
If there are other ways of showing one's appreciation than with nectar and the like, well, they must pale in comparison, I'm sure.
All right. We've matters with Olympus to resolve. They don't know I'm here, most of them, besides Zeus, maybe Athena. They think you're Nyx's son rather than mine, and that your goal is still to join them on their mountaintop.
So, like, Zeus should have an inkling in his head, because he's the one who sent her down here. Hermes definitely knows. He's keeping the secret for us. I didn't know that Athena might be aware of this as well. That's kind of interesting.
What a mess. What can we do? The gods of Olympus have all been very good to me for the most part. I don't feel great about deceiving them. They keep trying to help me escape.
What can we do? We can make peace with them, and let them know the truth. So much of it as they would tolerate. Diplomacy is not your father's strong suit. But I'm going to need you two to do exactly as I say. Do you understand?
Yes, Mother. So what do you intend to do, and how do I fit in?
We're going to invite all of them to a little family gathering. Here. And you shall personally deliver them their invitation, Zagreus.
Mother, are you serious? So we're just going to have a bash with them, and they'll just see you after all this time and be fine with everything?
They certainly shall not be fine with everything. But Hades and I will be prepared to tell them what they need to hear. Don't worry. I shall do the talking.
What are you going to say?
Oh, you know. That we met, fell in love, eloped, had a child. A child who, once grown, sought desperately to reconnect with his extended family. To the chagrin of his grim lord father.
That's all true. As individual statements, at least.
Fortunately, our loving and dutiful son at last persuaded his mother and father to reveal their secretive relationship and make an effort to rejoin their great family.
Your mother won't be happy that you left.
I'll deal with her. Perhaps I'll have to visit her and the rest of them from time to time, if that's what it shall take. But I'll be back. I have no choice. Did you know that if you eat the seeds of an underworld pomegranate, then you cannot leave for 1 month out of the year per seed?
What? No, I never knew that.
Neither do they.
How soon is this family gathering you have in mind going to take place?
Soon after you invite them all, I hope. Now go. And trust in me, all right? We have a lot to learn of trust, I think.
I know what you mean. I'll let you know when it's done.
See, it sounds so easy. Just throw a party, make everyone happy. I mean, the statements that she said weren't false, so it should be an easy kind of lie. Also, Hypnos, you sleeping kind of ruined the mood right there, you know? I just heard you snoring the whole time Persephone was talking.
You like this stuff, don't you, boy? Well, good, because I like sneaking it over to you.
The delectable taste of nectar is enough to briefly sate even the ferocious appetite of the Hound of Hell. Cerberus is uninterested in conversing at this time.
Your mother expected this most recent result of yours.
Nix, have you seen Charon lately? Everything alright with him? I can never tell how he's doing.
Charon and I have not lately taken opportunities to correspond. But he has always been among the least dependent of my children, other than perhaps only the fates. This much I know and can assure to you. He always is content to steer his boat.
I suppose you were the one to thank for his assistance when it comes to selling me his wares and such.
No, he is the one to thank. Do not mistake his lack of speech for lack of cleverness. He serves this house as I do, but he does not answer to me.
Doesn't answer to me either.
Charon's a good guy. Thank you, Charon. Hey, Tham.
Have to tell you, Zag, it's different with your mother around here. Don't mean to be so obvious, but it's something about your father, I suppose.
I think they have a lot of work ahead of them. As long as they're trying, he's trying, I think I'm good with that for now. Though I am glad she's here.
I'm beginning to think we all are. And please don't take this the wrong way, but I think you and your father have a lot of work ahead of you as well.
Oh, I entirely agree with that.
So I think I ought to liven up this place a little bit for the party, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could buy here that I haven't. Oh, look at this. Playthings for Cerberus. I do have quite a bit of gem now. I kind of want to get a bunch of these portraits as well, but they're kind of expensive. It'd be nice to have some portraits to decorate up the house. How am I doing for diamonds? Oh, I have a ton of diamonds. I could just use them to buy music, but, you know, let's get some paintings of us. Start with me.
Well, I don't see why not. It seems my princely duty to commission this fine portrait of myself.
I ought to have named you Narcissus instead.
Why did it bring me back to the top of the menu? That's so annoying. Here, I'll get you one for you, Dad.
Approved. Since this is Father's house, it's only fair the walls be slathered with his sour look.
You dare to thusly mock me, boy.
Oh, the paintings are exclusive of each other. I can't hang them all at once. I was kind of hoping that they would just kind of be hung all next to each other. Well, let's switch it back to me.
I think I want to change things up again right over here.
Whose house do you think this is?
Okay, in that case, I won't buy the Fury Sisters one. Again, I wanted them all up at the same time. Let's buy some stuff for Cerberus. Bedding quilted or bedding fancy? Let's go fancy.
Contractor, I have another job. For Cerberus, only the greatest bed will do.
Don't you disturb the dog, you hear me, boy?
Aw, did you hear Cerberus? Plaything. Can I only have one of these two? So if something starts with the same word, that means I can't have both of them, right?
Here you go.
Well,
Cerberus was never keen on playing ball, but on the other hand, who doesn't like a ball?
let's get both of them
What do you
anyways.
think the dog shall do with that?
Play fetch. Play fetch with the doll. Or with the ball. I'll get him a plush.
Let's go with this. Maybe this knitted effigy of some sort of surface creature will keep Cerberus occupied.
Cerberus has much better things to do than play with toys.
Oh cool, he gets both of them. Good boy. Oh, I can have towels by the entrance when I come in. These are all just different adornments. Oh, I can unlock this one. It's kind of expensive though. Oh, there are different themes. Wait. 100 nectars? 200 keys? 10 Titan Bloods, 15 Ambrosias, 5,000 gems, 25,000 darkness. Oh gosh, so if you want to be playing this game for a long time, there you go.
Here goes then. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Lord Ares, please consider our proposal, once you're able to decipher it.
What is this, my kid? Some sort of invitation for me, I presume? Not just for me. This symbolizes all the others here? Most intriguing. I shall investigate the meaning of this as quickly as I'm able then. But first...
Hope this lives up to your expectations, mate. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Should be a good time, Lord Dionysus.
Oh, just for a moment, Zag. Now, I can recognize an invite when I see one, man. And this is definitely, almost certainly, some sort of invite. One for me and one for everybody else, it looks like here. Oh, I'm excited. That is something really special, I can tell.
Found you, Huntress. Here, in the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Especially for you, Lady Artemis.
Some kind of special message for me. Oh, looks like there's one for everybody on Olympus, then. Felt rather special for a moment there, and now you're making me check in with all the others. Great.
So I'm guessing like the invitation sounds like it's incomplete, like they each get a piece of it and they have to share it like a puzzle. It doesn't sound like a straightforward give everyone an invitation type of thing from the way that they're talking.
I'm pleased to have you as a friend as well, Charon. The pleasure's mine. Well, look at you, Charon, mate. You're looking well. Something's different about you. Can't quite put my finger on it. Have you done something with your hair? Huh, I knew it.
Oh, he's trying to look all nice for me, huh?
Hope Mother knows what she's doing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Lady Demeter, this is for you.
What's all of this, young Zagreus? A message of some sort for me indeed. I can't decipher it, although it bears the marks of my two foster brothers here. And, well, it seems we'd better compare notes.
I get to be the messenger this time. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Lord Hermes, got here as quickly as I could.
Why, that looks like you've got a message just for me this time. How special is that, boss? Some sort of invite from the looks of things. You sure that I'm supposed to have this, seeing as I'm not officially involved?
We'll have to catch up some other time, Lerny, as I'm in a bit of a rush. Alright, here goes. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Uncle Poseidon, hope you can make this out.
What's this, nephew? Why is this a note? Or part of one addressed to me, but it appears there should be other pieces for the others here. Ah, it's like a sunken treasure then, which means I must seek its mysteries at once.
The fate decided this falls, I guess. Must say that's an impressive spear you've got there, stranger. Rather like the one Achilles held. He gave it to you then, followed him beyond the grave, only to be handed off.
It's a bit more complicated than that, sir, though yes, this is the very same as he once wielded. I'm honored to carry it now.
I'll bet. Perhaps you'll even come to surpass the body count Achilles piled up with it back in his day, seeing as you seem to have limitless opportunity to use it.
Care for a rematch?
Come, blackguard, and be crushed beneath the raging wheelwork of the Macedonian Tau Lambda once again!
Theseus, you do know you look even more ridiculous than normal wearing that mask. I get the chariot and the unsporting weaponry, but why wear that thing?
Ah, this blessed mask was crafted by great Daedalus himself. A work of art, and my entitled claim as champion. What has he ever done for you?
So I think this is the first time I've seen this mini-boss, finally. It's like a big snake stone that... It's kind of annoying because it's got all these satyrs running around. Ah! It's too bad I don't have Athena's deflect. I was getting worried though that I'd never find this boss because it's the only monster I'm missing from my bestiary. There we go.
The satyrs must be fashioning those things.
Oh look, a dual boon with Ares and Dionysus, so... Ah, my kin, I was just inquiring with Lord Dionysus here, under which circumstances are the greatest mortal feasts of all prepared, because I have a certain hunch regarding that.
Yeah, Ares, I will hand it to you, man. There's nothing like a feast after a war, all right? Provided you're on the surviving side, that is. Otherwise, I guess they'll be feasting with you down there, Zag.
Ah, good one, Dionysus.
Although there are innumerable ways for one to die, our danger-seeking prince has come to know a sizable variety.
How? Well, that was pretty good all in all.
Well, this is like a dream come true. I mean, how come you're always being so darn nice to me? But anyway, thanks.
Sure thing, Hypnos. Knock yourself out.
They won't catch me sleeping on the job again.
Oh, good, you're being more vigilant, huh?
I was looking all over for you.
I just saw you, Hades.
Oh, this is wonderful, except... I'm racked with guilt for having nothing much to give you in return. You never even got a mother's love from me.
Please don't say that. It's just a gift, all right? Besides, can't we start now? Mother and son type things, if you would like.
Yes, please.
I'd like that even more than this fine nectar, Zagreus. How goes the doling out of invitations, Zagreus? Have the Olympians been amenable to the idea?
Not just amenable, Mother, positively intrigued. I can't believe you scrambled the invitations in such a way that only with the lot of them combined will they get all of the details.
Yeah, it's like a bonding exercise for them, huh?
A bit of collaboration seemed in the spirit of things. We're a great big family, Zagreus. Past time we started acting like one, no? Now keep it up. And thank you for your help.
You got it, Mother. This nectar not fancy enough for you, boy, is that it? You've developed quite the delicate palate at your distinguished age.
Though having little appetite remaining for the lightness of nectar's flavor, the multi-headed monster of the underworld nevertheless accepts.
Enjoying staring at that bowl I got you, boy? No fun if it doesn't fight back, huh?
The hell-forged, multi-headed monster feels no urgency to waste his precious time on simple playthings, much preferring to conserve his vast energy reserves, in case any trespassers need to be eaten suddenly.
Aw, what a dutiful boy. He doesn't even want to play with his toys.
Well, it's there if you change your mind. Circumstances call for more pets.
I think I understand now, Nyx. You've been here longer than the rest of us combined. You've seen this house go through a lot. Even before Lord Hades took his place. I never should have doubted you.
To doubt is an important instinct, Megara. Without it, we could not conceive of better circumstances than the ones we know. Besides, I am the knight. Others shall always doubt me. You may doubt me again. I ask only that you heed well your intuitions from now on.
I will. I promise, Nyx. And if there's anything you ever need that I can do, well, please, just ask of me.
I do know where to find you, Megara.
Okay, let's buy some more decorations. Now I think there's 2 other portraits I can get that do not overwrite the other one. So I could get one of these 3, Tartarus, Asphodel, or Elysium. Elysium's the prettiest one, but I think Tartarus is the most, iconic. Why does it... I hate how it brings me back to the top of the list each time. I could probably afford both, but they're a little pricey compared to other furnishings. I could also get one of these paintings. So these paintings, Hades, Zagreus, Fury Sisters, and Nyx, occupy one section, but these 3 occupy the other part of the wall. Cerberus, Theseus, and some princess. I'm gonna pick the good boy.
How about this, contractor? This piece has the power to embarrass several members of this house all in one swoop.
I much prefer the walls to remain bare.
I think I'll pick a Tartarus picture because I feel like that's more iconic compared to Elysium.
Here's the commission. I'd like to see the depths of Tartarus adorn those walls back there.
Why don't you go see Tartarus firsthand?
I will. I'm kind of low on gems, but I think I can later on get this sculpture, the Bloodless, and then there's also the bust of the old man, and then I think there's a third statue, and they all get lined up right in front of Achilles. Maybe I need to unlock it. But the thing is, I feel like having them in the way there might just get in the way of me walking, but we'll get them later. I'm also gonna buy some music, just because I haven't been buying music, and I should pick some, at least some of the vocal tracks. So let's get Good Riddance.
Here you go. Should check the music stand to hear this one.
And we'll get In the Blood.
Here's the fee.
That's the ending
Decided
theme.
To give this one a listen.
And then let's also get Hymn to Zagreus. I think there's one other vocal track, but I don't think I have it here, or at least I don't think I see it. Oh, here, no, never mind. Lament of Orpheus.
Approved. Think I'm going to enjoy listening to this piece.
That's one of the songs that Orpheus might be singing when you return back to the house. and then him to Zagreus, which is...
Let's go with this.
The other one.
More music to soothe the senses.
Once I become good enough friends with Orpheus, he will unlock a lyre I can put in Zagreus' room, and that will allow Zagreus to attempt to play some music, and if you do it enough times, then Orpheus will unlock something for you and let you play it. So we'll give that a go.
Riches of the underworld, take heed.
Speak not to me of failure. Failure is the greatest instructor of all. Your existence is a sequence of mistakes. Avoid making the same one twice.
I'll see what I can do.
I thought for a second it sounded like he said your existence is a mistake, as in he didn't mean to have Zagreus with Persephone. I don't think that's what he meant though. So I still need to give invitations to Zeus, Athena, and Aphrodite, and that's pretty easy if I use their keepsakes. But I'm gonna hold off on giving them invitations for a little bit because I also want to invite Chaos. And Chaos isn't accepting my invitation now because I think you need to have him reunited with Nyx first, and I'm basically just waiting on Nyx to proceed with that by talking to her, but that means doing a few more runs, so I'm gonna delay that by talking to some of the other gods in the meantime.
Zag, turns out I am quite the judge of character, and you men have an awful lot of it. I mean, you've given out how much ambrosia now? To all your mates and more?
Tuck me right up.
Oh sweet, so it seems I've given out enough ambrosia to people that Dionysus now has his last heart unlocked for me. Excellent.
What does one offer to the god of wine? The very best is what? And down here, this is it, mate. I'm grateful I've got some of your spirit in me. To have such a connection with you despite all the distance between us.
Zag, I cannot believe what you're offering to me. Ambrosia, man, for me? And talk about a bottle that has seen some wild days and nights. I mean, if it got all the way to you down there, only to come back up. You know what? I'm saving it till we can share it here.
Aw. Thanks, Dionysus.
I'm back, ladies.
Ready, Tess. What is it that you're up to now, Zagreus? The Queen is back, but you're still making me show up like this.
Got some unfinished business with the Olympians to take care of. Was in the area, figured I'd say hi. Hi, Meg.
Don't start with me. You show up here, we fight, somebody dies. That's it. Now, who's it going to be?
I sense that you have forged a greater bond with your instruments of destruction there, my kin. And that is very good, and may their altered forms serve you quite well.
Observe this gleaming coat of bronze with which I'm adored now, short one. Your doing, as I understand.
My father is to thank for that, not me. I've proven difficult for him to contain, so now I'm beneficiary of his latest pact of punishment. You're welcome.
I haven't thanked you as of yet. Though come, I'll repay you suitably for having me encased within this suit.
You must have a friend or two, don't you? It's hard being alone all of the time. At least I have Callisto and the other nymphs, and I have you. A distant friend is still a friend, isn't that right?
Yes, that is true. That is very true, Artemis. Distance doesn't mean anything in a friendship. It makes it harder, but a good friendship can survive it.
Chiron, mate. As a long-time customer, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you again for your invaluable service as a part of my repeated attempts at getting out of here. What would I have done without your wares all these many times? Besides, dying a lot faster.
Besides, it's not like I can use the money anywhere else, and I lose it upon death, so, you know, win-win.
Well, I meant every word.
Oh, good. Oh, and I can immediately give him the ambrosia. Nice.
Charon, I realize you have a very busy schedule and certainly needn't keep going out of your way for me like this, so here. Just a small token of my appreciation for you. If you ever want to talk, know that I'm here.
Yeah, he must have a busy job because he has to ferry souls down to the underworld, yet he's always just standing idly by whenever I come by, right?
Thank you, mate.
Come forth, blackguard, and you shall soon be crushed under the massive wheels of the finest chariot the world has ever known.
You only have that chariot because of me, you know. It's all because of a condition of the Pact of Punishment. Nothing you did or earned, so drop the act.
What? You claim to be my benefactor, when in truth, you are my figuratively mortal enemy? I'll do the chariot equivalent of trample you.
The favor doing Zagreus then walks into a chamber black as night, but with a blood-red pool, and from it comes a voice which says, "Would you mind diving in these waters, Prince?" To which the prince replies, "Oh, sure."
Why, you...
Sure, ...
Wonder if I can get out even faster.
Well, how often do you consult these lists you make? If you're spending too much time just making lists, you're not leaving time to get anything done.
Oh, I love making my lists. I always illustrate the edges. Each one is unique. That way, anyone who gets to review the work, it's a whole experience, you know? But I guess it does take up a lot of time.
You'll have to work around the constraints of your responsibilities. You do take breaks, don't you? Before and after each break, maybe that's a time to make sure your own list of priorities is up to date.
Wait, my own list of priorities? But you're saying I could just go and make a list for me? Huh. Oh. Whoa.
If that'll be all.
Congratulations, boy.
Somebody raised you very well indeed, my son. Nyx, I suppose. I'll never be half the mother she is. She's done it for eons, while I'm only getting started.
For what it's worth, I happen to think you're off to an excellent start. Nyx did teach me a lot. Achilles too, and father in a way. But there is no replacing your presence. I felt that before we ever met, and now I know for sure.
Thank you, Zagreus. Let's hope you're right. I nurtured very many plants, at least. Of that I can assure you. Perhaps my gardening experience provided a bit of a head start on this whole mothering thing.
Perhaps I'm part plant.
Oh, that's cute.
Mother, this family gathering you're planning, are all of our relatives welcome? Because I was wondering if I could extend the invitation to a distant ancestor. You know, Chaos.
Oh, good. Maybe this is what unlocks me allowing to give it to Chaos instead of waiting for Chaos to get in touch with Nyx.
Nyx's parent? You've been in contact then? Look, if you feel it's the right thing to do, I trust your judgment. The spirit of this event is to bring the family together.
Thanks. I doubt Chaos would be able to attend, though would still appreciate the thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after dying in some wretched manner, giving pets to my good boy sure helps me get back on my feet. Thanks for being here for me.
The burning embers in the eyes of monstrous Cerberus, notorious Hound of Hell, reveal that he too is amenable to the pets of which the Underworld Prince speaks, and in fact is deeply grateful for the quantity of them.
Speaking of which...
Cease bothering the dog.
Aw. I like how he did like a double side hop just so he can go pet him. That means I can give you Ambrosia now, boy. You know, it's a shame that Cerberus doesn't have a chthonic companion to give me. That'd be cute. You could summon Cerberus and he'd like stomp around or something.
That's right, boy. Ambrosia just for you. You're going to love it. Pretty much every creature, living or dead, does.
The 6 eyes of the hideous Hound of Hell go wide at once from having received the exquisite gift of rare Olympian ambrosia. The creature is rather beside himself.
Yay.
Our security efforts in Asphodel are evidently lacking.
Nice chatting.
I gotta tell you something, Zagreus. I'm not getting any more used to losing to you like this. I mean, you don't even stop to rub it in. You know how humiliating that is.
What, that I don't talk to you about it is humiliating?
Wait, you're saying you would feel less ashamed about the outcomes of our fights if I were to gloat more about beating you? How does that make any sense?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what doesn't make any sense? That you keep beating me. I must be getting sloppy if I'm that predictable. Too bad none of the other wretches I have to deal with put up much of a fight.
I'll keep putting up a fight if it's any consolation.
You are the son of Night herself, they say. A fascinating character, ill-liked upon Olympus, although I myself have always longed to meet her.
Nyx is great, okay? Come on.
You're pretty close with Ares, aren't you? And here they said it couldn't be done. If I were you, I'd watch myself with him.
So my professional associate, the fearsome boatman on the river Styx, you got to know him pretty well in all of this, right, cuz? Hard getting through to him, I know, but his heart's in the right place. It's why I'm working with him after all this time.
My keepsake from Chaos will protect me. Hope Nyx is alright.
Presence never ceases to intrigue me, son of Hades. For you are not like the Olympians on high, who have forgotten me, or thus they choose to act.
So, well, you senseless monster, I suspect you're not so pleased with yourself now. Behold, for my glorious chariot has been restored.
Oh, indeed. Nice work. Though it must have cost a fortune in gemstones and diamonds restoring an old Macedonian. I thought it was totaled after last time.
The only thing which shall be totaled here, you heartless property-destroying scourge, is you yourself, Asterius. Together, let us break him.
Having somehow defeated Grim Lord Hades in a thrilling fight, Prince Zagreus discovers it was all a dream. A rather deadly nightmare, actually.
Oh no!
Of course, the thing you do after a dream is die, right?
Not bad at all, really.
Oh, you are just the best. I bet you died on purpose just to get this back to me, didn't you? Didn't you?
I have a secret, Hypnos. I've died on purpose every single time just to see you.
You're not gonna say anything about that, Hypnos?
I've got a survey here if you'd like to fill it out.
No. Hits the spot, doesn't it, boy? I know you're caught up in the middle of all this and having to weigh your loyalties more than you'd like. I'm sorry we're putting you through this.
The Underworld Prince's next attempt to bribe the monstrous triple-headed Hellhound into further liking him proves once again successful, as the kingly gift of heavenly ambrosia is beyond compare.
Take it easy, boy. I'll probably be back here in no time.
The watchdog Cerberus merely sulks upon his supple bedroll.
Sometimes I still cannot believe that you are here, returned to us. Your radiance in all this darkness. You must miss seeing the coast.
The coast was nice enough, Hades. But nothing is ever perfect, right? No matter how hard you try. Still, I think we get quite close around here every once in a while.
You have taken much less time adjusting to this place than when first you joined us. Pardon my surprise. I myself was forced to be here. I never thought anyone would come from the surface here by choice.
The heart can make us do the strangest things, can't it?
Indeed.
It's him, Baldy. Hello. Hey, Your Highness. Good old Baldy there had several things he wanted to tell you.
Thanks, Baldy.
Thank you for listening to him. With all that said, I think I've got something for you right here. Got just the thing.
Thank you, mate.
So long, Your Highness.
Hope you won't mind. I told Callisto all about you recently. Don't worry, I was quite discreet about it. The two of us were on the hunt. Not like I just shouted out your story from the mountaintops.
As he explores the wonders of the world, Prince Zagreus discovers a quaint farm in which he carelessly trespasses, stepping on a farming tool which swoops up and strikes him in the forehead, fatally.
As a mortal, Zagreus is very clumsy and easy to kill, I guess.
Thank you everyone, you're too kind.
It's kind of funny he says that as a follow-up to dying in an embarrassing way.
Oh! Good thing you're basically immortal, huh?
Welcome home, boy.
Zagreus, how am I doing as a mother? Tell me honestly. Nyx has had so much to share about raising you. Foods you hated or enjoyed, your natural abilities, your friendships. She knows everything. Sometimes I wonder how I can ever compete.
Mother, I think you're doing great. And I'm sure you know it's not a competition between you and Nyx. I just get the benefit of having two great mothers rather than one. Or zero.
Yeah, and you also have multiple dads because you have Achilles as well.
Thank you, my son. I know I wasn't there for most of the hard part, but I'm here now. Though when I inevitably, inadvertently trample all over your feelings at some point, please tell me, all right?
It's a deal.
Yay! You get some ambrosia.
Mother, I know there may not be many things you miss from living on Olympus, though I wondered if perhaps ambrosia may be one of them. And got you some because, well, here.
Why, this really is ambrosia. How did you even acquire this, Zagreus? It brings back memories for certain, and never the bad ones, which I think it must be why we prize this stuff so much. This is for me.
It is, of course. And it's my dearest hope that at some point long from now, when you're relaxing with a bottle of ambrosia, dare I say perhaps with Father, that these memories will be among the ones that spring to mind.
Oh, my son. I shall certainly not need ambrosia to think back upon getting to know you with the greatest fondness. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Mother.
Now I'm gonna give some to the dog, too.
Cerberus, not to get all sentimental on you, but... Oh, who am I kidding? Look, you've been with me my entire life. I know you're here at home, partner, because of me, aren't you?
The bond between a hound and its master is as hard as adamant. Cerberus, the fearsome monster born of hell and guardian of its gates, answers firstly to the prince's father. But it turns out, the prince may be the next best thing.
You're the best boy in the whole world. Even if heads Beta and Gamma don't much care for pets, do they? I've got more than enough lined up for you, though. Count on it.
So the head I'm petting is Alpha, then.
The Hound of Hell barely regards the prince, having been sated for the time.
Oh, his little icon is so cute.
I must say, you made a hollow mockery of Theseus that time.
Yep, as usual.
Should visit the head chef. Electo's really something else. She must have been a real handful, huh?
My youngest sister takes a lot of pleasure from her work. I've learned something of that from her. But that's as far as we relate, I think.
Oh, Electo's the youngest.
She could learn a thing or two from you, I'm sure. About having a little common decency, perhaps.
She won't be learning anything from me. The contempt you get from her is unconditional. I learned not to take it personally.
I see. Do you have to work with Hypnos pretty closely as part of your job, Dusa? Feels like I've been running into him a lot lately.
Mr. Hypnos, I have trouble getting through to him, I think. He gives me plenty of advice, it isn't really why I talk to him. I only talk to him when I don't have a lot of other choice, I guess.
I'll just keep talking to him so no one else has to. Hello there, Dionysus.
Well, would you just look at yourself, Zach? You are like a walking stockpile of ambrosia, aren't you? Taking the best care of it at that. I knew I could count on you, but I didn't know I could just be so proud of you, you know, man?
Thanks, man.
Again, I sensed some sort of shifting in your father's residence. You seek to ask something of me about it to do that. Respond.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's just my mother, we're reaching out to the Olympians, trying to reconnect the family. It's been a while, relatively, since she and father saw the others, but in case a gathering occurs, I did wish you to know you're cordially invited too.
Cordially invited? A generous proposal, son of Hades. Though an actual gathering is to occur within my space, please understand it would be difficult for me to bring the full entirety of my presence there. However, I think I can arrange to be with you in some capacity. Thank you.
Well, good. So now that we got Chaos on board, I can finally go finish with Zeus, Athena, and Aphrodite.
Okay, I think I'm ready. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message, and I hope it finds you well, Lady Aphrodite.
Why, this is something, dearest. Such an enigmatic message you have sent. How positively captivating. I must know what it says. It bears the marks of others on Olympus, so perhaps we ought to share some common knowledge on the subject.
I have a brother, Helios the Sun. A nonsense talker with a flaming chariot. Why, he once told me that my Kore, that she went into that underworld of yours. Preposterous. The clouds now blot him out entirely.
I got some bad news for you, Demeter. I guess I'll tell you at the party. Yeah.
This is it then. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Lady Athena, I trust you'll quickly figure this one out.
Is this some kind of offering for me? No, hold a moment. This appears to be a message. Part of one. Then, can this mean... I have to notify the others. I trust they also have received something from you, or shortly shall.
And this should be the last of our invitations.
Sure hope this works. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. For you in all your splendor, Lord Uncle Zeus.
My, what is this you have for me, young man? It appears to be a message of some sort, bearing my thunder sigil. Though there's one for everybody on Olympus, have they as yet received their own? I must know what it says. It's from your father. Who else can it be? I better check on this.
That was the last of the invitations. Just need to tell Mother once I get home.
A challenger? My chariot and I stand ready for you, demon. And I assume Asterius as well. I feel it in my phantom heart. We shall not fall to you this time.
You know, my opinion of the Macedonian Tau Lambda has fallen precipitously of late. Though perhaps it's not the chariot, but the driver.
Silence! Show me a finer chariot driver anywhere within Elysium. Why, you cannot! I'll run you down for such an insult to my pride!
When did you get your hands on Malphon the Twin Fists? Hands in, I ought to say. I heard that one time Demeter, she smacked her father right square in the face with those. Bet you can probably relate.
So joyfully did Zagreus attempt to gain the surface that why he just rose too quickly. And we know how that one goes from Icarus's tale. No.
He was just so joyful.
Showed you that time, Father.
Alright, so we've delivered invitations to all the Olympians, including Chaos. Took a little bit longer just because Chaos wasn't accepting his invitation, because we had to finish his quest with Nyx. Again, if you want to see the conclusion of the Nyx and Chaos story, then you should check out the timestamp below. And we are ready to go tell Persephone that the party is good to go. So, here's the epilogue.
Mother.
There she is.
Zagreus.
For a second I was worried that she wasn't there.
It's done, Mother. Father, the invitations. Personally sent to everyone with whom I've been in contact. So what do we do now?
Excellent, Zagreus. Congratulate him, Hades. On a job well done.
Yeah, congratulate me, Dad.
Persephone, how can you be so certain your request was executed to your satisfaction?
It's known as trust, Hades. Or faith. They're similar. Try one sometime. It'll be good for you. As for what we do next, why, we've a great big feast we must prepare.
This house is not a suitable location for such guests. Dionysus alone shall bring ruin to this place. Or... the faith thing that you said.
Ah, you're learning quickly, Hades.
Yes, good. Now then, we have a lot of work to go around. So why don't we call everyone on staff and let them in on this, and dole out suitable responsibilities, all right?
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thus did all of Olympus journey deep into the underworld, all together for the very first time. The Queen Persephone revealed herself in all her splendor, much to their surprise, and told them everything she indicated to her son. She eloped with Grim Lord Hades, she said, mothering a fire-stepping prince who sought to reconnect with his extended family. Hades and Persephone at first refused his wish, but so moved were they by his relentless struggles to the surface that at last they decided to heed their willful Zagreus and reach out, for his and everybody's sake. The Olympians listened to all this in stunned silence. Then Zeus himself began to laugh. "Welcome back into the family," he said. After the shock subsided, the festivities began.
I say, big brother, you and your better half put on a positively smashing night. It's a relief for all of us, knowing Persephone is safe and sound. And mother to as noble of a son as my good nephew there. Well, little brother, the Queen and I, in turn, appreciate you all taking time out of your doubtless busy lives to come all this distance to my house. I'm certain it is very modest in comparison to Mount Olympus, but I trust that you were suitably entertained. Oh, of course, Hades. Now then, farewell, and let us keep in better touch from here. Farewell indeed, Lord Zeus.
When finally the great feast ended, all the Olympians returned to their mountain abode, fully satisfied. As for the House of Hades, it required thorough cleansing, from the rafters to the floor. Such revelry, of course, is unbecoming of the name of Hades, and the fearsome reputation of the underworld. For if mortals were to have no fear of death, then they would have no fear of anything at all. A well-kept family secret, then, this would live on to be.
Whew. I'd say that went about as well as could have been expected. And the cleanup wasn't all that bad. For the most part.
Well, fortunate Uncle Zeus seemed to catch on right away and went along with it. But this whole elaborate tale you spun... I remember how hurt I felt when I found out Father lied to me about you. Now we're lying to Olympus. What if they find out? Even if they don't, I don't like it.
Zagreus, I may not be an expert, but here's what I've come to understand about how families work. At least our own. The thing is, how we speak to one another is even more important than the words we use. I think, deep down, everyone in our family knows this.
You're saying they all knew you weren't being perfectly honest and went along with it anyway. I guess the pomegranate thing in particular was a bit of a stretch.
The common ground in our family is that we want peace. Besides Ares, though even he would rather the conflict occur elsewhere. That elaborate tale, it's less a deception and more a concession. A way of saying, let's move on from the past and start anew. No hard feelings.
You don't have hard feelings? What about Father? What about Demeter?
Well, let's see. My hard feelings are nothing next to the joy of having my son in my life. Your father never imagined his relationship with me could be out in the open. And my mother, she's just glad I'm alive.
And Uncle Zeus is glad things didn't turn out worse for him. I get the sense he acts a bit impulsively at times and deals with the consequences later.
What can I tell you, Zagreus? We're family. You said it yourself to me before. We're stuck with one another. That any of us like each other in the slightest. It's a wonder and a blessing, I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Thanks, Mother. Think I'll be heading out again soon. See you when I get back.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
Alright, so we finally got the epilogue done. Man, that took so much longer than I thought. Just getting out the nectars to everyone wasn't even the hard part. I was waiting for all the favors and the random dialogue from people like Zeus and Artemis and Poseidon, I guess, in a way. But the whole family's reunited. That's nice. And we even got through a lot more other people's stories than I thought going through this, because I thought that I would just go straight for the epilogue and finish. But because it took so long, I was able to do a lot of the side things like Orpheus, Eurydice, Nyx and Chaos, Sisyphus, and Achilles and Patroclus. Now, as of me speaking right now, I'm still not completely done with Achilles, Patroclus, and Sisyphus, but I do intend to finish that, so I will be playing a little bit more. You can see the timestamps in the video if you want to find out what happens with them. Now, thoughts on the ending? I kind of figured that because all the Olympians, we've only ever seen them from artwork, right? They don't have in-game models, and I don't think that they're going to make models for them simply for one cutscene. I do kind of wish we could walk around the House of Hades and talk to all of them as they were partying, but I can understand why we didn't. Now, I kind of wish there was a little bit more to the narration there. I mean, I think it was good because, you know, like the party was supposed to be super extravagant, and it's not really something that you can probably capture with a cutscene or a game, so just to have a narrator say it is probably sufficient. But I wish there was more with Demeter, because like a lot of this hinged on what would Demeter think, because Demeter is Persephone's mom, and she thinks that she's dead or ran away, and like she has caused a lot of trouble on the surface because of this, being the goddess of fertility, and yet she's blanketed the place in winter out of anger. I'm surprised that she didn't appear in the cutscene, or they didn't even really show what she said, other than Persephone here just saying what Demeter said afterwards. So I was a bit confused that they kind of just focused on Zeus, but I guess he's the most representative of them all, so that kind of makes sense. I'm going to keep playing too as well, because I know all the gods do have special dialogue next time that I see them, where they kind of talk about how much fun they had at the party and what they thought. So we'll keep going again with that. I'll have a section here up ahead on kind of the post-party dialogue, as well as some of the things that people have to say afterwards. I still have yet to get Artemis's last heart, So hopefully she says some of that stuff soon. I'll keep trying to talk to her. I'm not going to get Aphrodite's because I'm not going to finish my relationship with Dusa and Meg in addition to Than. I know that I can give the last ambrosia to Dusa and Meg and just say no, but at the same time I feel bad doing that and I'd rather still have the option open in the future, so I'm just going to stop at -1 hearts for them from the top, whatever that is, 9 or 8. So keep watching, and thank you so much guys for keeping up with the series. Hope the organization of this video makes it a little easy to navigate. I wanted to section it off so the timestamps work, but at the same time I know it's a little awkward. So we'll keep going. Thank you.
Prophecy fulfilled. We're one big happy family. No issues whatsoever.
It was a privilege to meet your relatives at last, child. Athena, Ares, and the rest. Confronted face to face, they were much more agreeable than I expected. A night we shall remember, was it not?
A memorable night it was indeed, Nyx. For most of us, at least. Dionysus, he won't remember any of it, I don't think. But it was really good to see everyone having a good time. Getting along as though they didn't hold a grudge. So then we're clear, I think.
Persephone told them everything they needed to hear. Sometimes that is the only way with family. Though the Olympians, they are prone to their misunderstandings, are they not? This state of kinship may not last eternally.
Well, let's enjoy it while it does, I guess.
A sound idea.
Yushe's doing all right. Cooking.
The stalwart casks of wine within the House of Hades now are almost entirely devoid of content, having bravely stood against the combined thirst of the Olympians during a certain feast.
They fought bravely, but Lord Dionysus was too strong. Here's what I caught. Why, thank you. Dusa, this whole place, it looks immaculate. That's even after all Olympus came here for that giant feast. How did you get everything clean so fast?
Oh, well, I guess I have my ways, friends. Sometimes you get one of those jobs and you just want to give it everything you've got, you know? I get a lot of jobs like that. Feeding Cerberus, cleaning the rafters. But this one, I just knew it was the perfect job for me.
I have a good attitude there, Dusa.
Well, you did amazing here.
I heard the feast you had here. It was really something else. All the gods together in one place, eating, drinking, not killing one another. That must have been a sight.
Weren't you here too, Hypnos? Were you sleeping the whole time?
You should have been there, Hypnos. Not that I noticed your absence, though what happened? Other pressing business?
Slept through the whole thing.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Wow. Here, Mother. More bottled pleasant memories for you. I know you're glad you've long since left Olympus, but I'm glad you were there because the experience of it must have played no small part in making you who you are.
You know, the last bottle you gave me brought more pleasant memories than I expected. No telling just how many more of them I've tucked away. Say, would it be all right if I share this with your father?
It is yours to do with as you please.
Almost sounded like a no to me.
No, I mean, yes, please share it with Father if he would be willing. I imagine what few pleasant memories he has are all of you.
Nonsense. There's also Cerberus. Present company excluded. Come on, son. Your father has a lot of work to do, but I'm absolutely certain that he has fond memories of you. Though I know that isn't reassuring coming from me.
Like all the times he beat me up on my way to the surface, or all the times I beat him up?
Everything is somehow reassuring coming from you, Mother.
You have anything to say, Hades? Not yet?
So, lad, tell me then, how went the family feast? Was everything all right?
Well, I confess I was perhaps a little nervous for practically the entire thing, but all in all, I had a good time, and I'm very, very glad it all turned out the way it did. How about yourself?
I quite enjoyed it too. Last time I was invited to a feast, I was still busy warring on the surface. That's how long it's been. I must say, your mother's quite good with words. Had everybody chatting, laughing.
She really pulled it off. But for all her confidence, I don't think she knew she had it in her. Because if she did, if she reached out to Olympus sooner, a lot of things could have been different.
Don't dwell on that. I spoke a bit with Nyx. Your mother had her reasons. No one gets to act on perfect information, right? All we have is what we think we know, and what our conscience tells us. Your mother got to where all this was possible, all thanks to you.
All thanks to me, sir. I had ample help along the way. For instance, I could not have done it without you. Would have been using an old chair leg as a weapon, I suppose.
And what a fearsome chair leg it would be. In any case, you heading out there soon? Olympus should be more than happy to assist in your security review, if that's what we're calling it now.
Yeah, I should go. I'll see you not too long from now.
And you in turn.
You must have had yourself a real bash with all those fancy gods and stuff. Could hear all the festivity from all the way out here. How was it, pal?
It went better than expected, all in all. I hope you didn't feel left out. It was a pretty limited guest list. Kind of a diplomatic mission, I would say. Not quite as good a time as it might have sounded from the outside.
Oh, don't you even worry about me there, pal. I much prefer the solitary life. And besides, when things are good for you, they're good for me. Glad everything worked out.
Same here.
You're a good friend, Skelly.
What's the worst that could happen?
You are immortal, boy, but in a manner you can die, as you now understand. A most unpleasant feeling, is it not?
I'm getting used to it.
I don't entirely recall what happened at that feast you threw for all of us down there, but let me tell you, I am under the impression it went smashingly. It was amazing, man. Let's have another one sometime, all right?
You said it, man.
Jesus knew your gathering of the Olympians occurred. I must inform you, I have never once before detected quite so many of my offspring in a single space. At least not without violent intent. I appreciate that you included me, and that you have returned. Shall we continue then?
Yeah, see, like I really wanted to make sure that he was, or they were included, so that's why I had to really make sure to hold off giving out the invitations until I could catch Chaos as well.
Positively raucous time down there with your old father and Persephone. Was she a sight? I never thought I'd see her again. So then we're one big happy family at last. Well, you've a job to do, and we upon Olympus will do our fair share.
Hope you enjoyed the feast with the Olympians, Charon. We didn't have much of a chance to chat, though it looked like you and Hermes were having a good time. We'll have to do it again sometime. Think I know what you're going to say. Oh, sorry that you couldn't make the feast back at the house, Persephone. Though I don't really think it was your kind of scene. Although Ares was there, he's probably done some murders, right?
Murder. Murder.
Tell you, cuz, that was a real something of a feast back at your place. A little awkward having to pretend we just met, but hey, I'm an Olympian, means I can posture with the best of them. Good times, cuz. Glad it all worked out.
Right, because Hermes was one of the ones that the Olympians didn't know that he was working with me or knew me, right? Because he's kind of doing it secretly. But wait, are there dual boons with Hermes? I thought there were. How did those make sense? Because then someone would have to know that we're working together.
Tell you once again I had a splendid time during our recent shared festivities, my kin. At last, I've finally seen your death-filled realm firsthand. I learned a great deal. And I look forward to learning more from our successful collaboration.
Have to say, I had a pretty decent time with everybody at our little visit recently. Met you, Uncle Hades, even Great Achilles. Still don't quite appreciate you tricking us, but I can get over it eventually. Anyway, you still could use assistance from me, right?
But we kind of lied about it so that we weren't tricking you anymore, right?
Holy little sprout. Young Zagreus. My grandson. I can scarce believe it still. To think that Kore, or Persephone, my daughter, she had been with foster brother Hades all this time. A match I wouldn't have expected, or approved. That's why she left. How blasted hearts do what they want.
Wow, she sounds really understanding despite all the things that we've heard about her and all the things that she's been saying up until this point.
Time for the main event.
Have you yet heard, monster? The Queen Persephone is back to rule the underworld in all her terrifying grace. Perhaps one of these days or nights she shall be present in the stands to witness your destruction at our hands.
Yeah, about that, she's my mother. So maybe watch your fool mouth with me, or else I might just put in a bad word.
Oh, you disgust me, demon, that you would even dare to say such things about the Queen. Prepare now to be vanquished in her name.
Okay, but he knows that I'm the son of Hades, right? So wouldn't it make sense that he knows that I'm the son of the Queen?
It was my privilege to have visited your father's house, and briefly had a chance to meet you, Zagreus. Nyx and your mother each are very shrewd. Perhaps you've taken after both of them. As for your new responsibilities, exposing weak points and defenses is my specialty.
Looks like the realm needs some adjustment still.
If you are here, then the Olympians must still be lending you their aid, just as before. I scarce believe the Queen's preposterous idea worked. That all it took to settle an old score was a blasted family feast.
Come on, Father, even you must have enjoyed that feast to some extent. We ought to do it more often. Good thing you trusted Mother's judgment on that one. So then, to the death once more?
Indeed. To the death as always, boy. Zagreus, ready yourself. You think that you're the only one who shall keep fighting? I must go.
Got you.
The clever-minded prince again eluded certain death, up to a certain point, but then, predictably, made one of his fatal mistakes again.
Please, everybody, hold your applause.
Welcome to the House of Hades, and thanks for dying.
Everything is as it always was.
We're all very proud of you, boy. You were so well behaved at the feast. I was worried sick one uncle or the other was going to set you off at some point, but you were patience incarnate. Thanks for helping show our extended family a good time.
How infernal Cerberus, the Hound of Hell, managed to maintain civilized behavior throughout the duration of the recent feast remains a mystery to all who attended.
So now that the festivities are over with, it's back to work like this, the same as ever.
Do you have any idea what happens when you announce the underworld as a queen, boy? Damn it. Zagreus, I mean. You become inundated with well wishes from every blasted shade that wants something.
How awful. All the shades are offering you their compliments. I like how he corrected himself and called him Zagreus that time, though.
You're responding to well wishes? Aw. Don't you think some of your subjects are sincerely happy for you?
The work, nevertheless, has to be done.
So, I'm quite confused, I must admit, my friend. The Queen Persephone, she is your mother, then? How is it that she came to reside here?
Well, it all started when my father saw her on Olympus, and they fell madly in love. He swept her off her feet and brought her here. The Olympians, they got pretty worried when they saw she was gone. But now it's okay. Everything's out in the open.
But surely the Queen's mother on Olympus, the great goddess Demeter, surely she would quite like it if she saw her daughter still from time to time.
Oh, that. Thing is, Mother ate some pomegranate seeds when she was here. And we have rules about that stuff, you know. It means she cannot leave this place for very long at all. I'm sure Demeter will understand. And unfreeze everything when her daughter's around.
Ah, yes, pomegranate seeds, of course, of course. Though, there is one more subject I don't understand, which is how you fit into all of this. Were you not trying to escape from here?
Forget about me, Orpheus. This isn't about me, it's about Mother. What's important is she's here where she belongs.
I see. I understand. Well, thank you then for clearing all that up. It is a splendid tale, I must say, and every part of it makes sense to me at last.
Same goes for me, mate. Same goes for me. Still can't get over our gift from the Olympians. It's glorious.
A majestic gilded edifice of Mount Olympus, crafted with the utmost care from the true mountain stone, now shines forever brightly, even in the dim light of the House of Hades, as a parting gift from the Lord Master's kin.
So they must have brought that with them, but they didn't know what we were about to reveal, right? So they just thought to bring a gift. That's nice of them. Because they didn't come back afterwards, right, to deliver it after they heard about the news.
The handiwork of Lord Hephaestus himself. Sounds like he's been rather busy.
Yeah, Hephaestus is the god of the forge, and he is not in this game, but at least they mention him.
A little slice of Olympus.
I have to tell you, Zagreus, that it was wonderful to meet with you at last. We were so pleased to learn Persephone was safe. And Nyx, why, she's as stunning as they say. Shouldn't have lied to us about your parentage, but I know things get complicated here, and that what's done is done.
Yeah, you said so, Zeus. You're the one that caused all this in the first place, really.
It's fortunate your troubles with your mother were resolved. Persephone, I mean. To think I led all of my family to believe your mother was the goddess Nyx instead. It seems I was an unwitting accomplice to a bit of a deception there. But Nyx, I know she merely tried to help.
I meant to tell you something, grandson. You needn't have deceived the rest of us. You could have sent word that my daughter was with you down there all along. Ah, but families are a complicated thing. Just swear that you'll be candid with us next time.
You know, Mykin, I had misunderstood that Nyx was your mother. But Persephone, I never took her for the sort to have an interest in your realm. Alas, that we never had opportunity to discuss the subject here.
Heard you had a real bash down in your daddy's house, Red Blood. So sorry I couldn't make it. Next time, though, all right?
Next time, definitely, Electo. We missed you for sure and wish you could have made it.
Yeah, we didn't even send you an invite.
I'm sure you did. But you know, work comes first. So let's get busy.
Oh, dearest. dearest. You've no idea what a delightful time I had while visiting you recently. So many new sights and sounds and smells, why it was wonderful. And you are burdened with a big responsibility, aren't you? Mind if I lend my graces to you still from time to time?
Even though everything's out in the open now, and all my brothers, sisters, and whatnot are going to keep helping you fight your way out of there, I've still been keeping to myself of late. That way, nobody slows me down.
Hard times. So the Olympians are backing you officially now? Doing their part to help the family business finally. Lord Hades probably never thought he'd see the day. Right? You know what I mean.
Seems only fair they should help in some capacity. They all work together on the surface, and let's face it, they're responsible for a good number of shades pouring into this realm. Least they can do is help shore up the whole there is no escape reputation we've got.
By making you unfairly stronger by the time you try to get through me.
Exactly.
Please excuse your father and me for the moment, Zagreus.
Oh, you're not even gonna let me listen? Alright. Bye.
How goes it? I'm so impressed with what you've managed to accomplish, lad. When I was closer to your age, or the age you appear to be, all I wanted was glory, to be remembered forever. Look what that got me. I'm glad you know better than I did.
So in pursuing glory, you think you lost it? Forgive me here, but I just disagree. I settled a family squabble. You single-handedly turned an entire war.
A foolish war. Glory comes to those driven to excel in worthwhile pursuits. A happy side effect, not a goal unto itself. Though you don't need for me to tell you that.
If not for all your training and advice, I wouldn't have come this far. You prepared me for this. Wasn't that a worthwhile pursuit? Must mean you got some glory after all then, right?
Well, you got me there.
If that will be all then, Shades?
I thought about it more, Mother, and I would like very much if you and Father were to share this. Though, maybe don't let on where you got it, just in case.
This is splendid, Zagreus, but please, if there's one thing I've learned since we met, it's that the trust we share is at the very foundation of our relationships. Why shouldn't he know who this is from? Besides, I think he could figure it out.
He's technically the one giving them to me for defeating Theseus, right? He's the one who said so himself. Their bounties are payment, right?
Well, when it came to the Olympians, you said yourself that there was only so much truth that they could tolerate. Are you sure Father would be tolerant knowing I got this for the both of you?
I'm sure enough. And if he isn't, I suppose it's more for me.
Well, just as long as someone puts it to good use.
You know I always wanted to be a mother, Zagreus. But after you were born, I was certain I had lost my chance. Then one fine morning you just walked into my life. And here we are. I still cannot entirely believe it. What I mean is, I love you, son. I'm doing my best.
Aww.
I know. I love you too, Mother.
Hades, don't ruin the moment.
Get to the point.
Hey, back when we had that feast there, man, I hope I didn't, make for any inconveniences or anything down there, did I?
Grandmother, if you don't mind I call you that. Knowing we're related like this fills me with pride. Your power over life. I think I've some of it in me. And I could not have come this far without your help. Please, for everything. This is for you.
Oh, my grandson, how you honor me with this. I am so very grateful that we've met and that you're you, if that makes any sense at all. I have my sisters, but I'd no one else for very long indeed.
Yay, we're getting along with Grandma.
My, but you're as determined as my foster brothers were when my sisters and I stood with them against the Titans way back when.
when she used to use the Fists of Malphon, right, and punch people. Way to go, Grandma.
Some members of the family up here, I know they haven't helped at all, but just don't take it personal or anything, alright? Think of it this way, you've got more of us getting along and talking properly than I have ever seen.
He cannot kill me like this every time, believes the Underworld Prince. He shall eventually have no more ideas. But the Prince, as often is the case, is wrong.
How many more death endings does this narrator have? He's running out of ideas, but he clearly has more.
Feels like it's been a while, everybody.
Oh! There's no escape, in case you hadn't heard.
Returned, have you?
I have to say, Mother, that was a clever plan. Convincing Father to finally let somebody have some fun around here.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for the best. There's just one thing that happened that I ought to tell you about, son. No secrets between us and all. This is quite difficult for me to say.
It's about Demeter, isn't it? You two were talking half the night. She wants you to come home with her, doesn't she? You'll always be her little one, something like that.
Indeed. Something like that. You're quite perceptive, have I ever told you, Zagreus? But yes, my mother, she was quite conflicted. Didn't know whether to smite me or to hold me. Maybe both. And yes, she asked that I come home. To my responsibilities.
So, you're leaving? No, Mother, you can't be leaving. You just got here.
Oh, it's not as bad as that. It's just... if we are to keep the peace down here, then I must spend some time up there. Every so often. But I shall always return in no time at all. I promised Hades, and I promise you.
That sounds pretty fair. I mean, going off and visiting your parents once in a while, not a bad thing. Besides, we're immortal gods, right? As long as she comes back.
Well then, when are you going to go?
Soon, Zagreus. Perhaps by the time you're back.
I don't suppose I can come with you, can I?
You know the surface isn't good for you. Besides, you're needed here. But if you really want to see it for yourself someday, who knows? Perhaps eventually we'll figure out a way.
I'm going to miss you, Mother.
I'm going to miss you too, son.
Aw, they have such a nice relationship between the two of them.
Tell me in brief, boy. Our own upon Olympus. Are they continuing to aid you as expected?
Still showing up and lending their support. I think some of them are a little disappointed I'm not planning to come join them, though I think they understand now that they owe the Underworld a debt. We all have to do our part looking after the mortals, whether alive or dead.
Indeed. I half expected they would disappoint. Abandon you to toil on your own. At least thus far, they've honored their commitment then.
They have.
Yeah, it's good that they're continuing to help me. I mean, not just for the point of the game, but think of how often that Zagreus, how often that I'm going through the Underworld, that they have to keep getting summoned and giving their boons. I mean, I guess mortals pray to them all the time, so they must be used to it, right?
You raised him well, O Knight. You know that, I hope. Though, I can't imagine even you could have expected this outcome. Thank you for making all this possible. For all of us.
You are to thank for this outcome as much as I, perhaps more so. For I have little choice but to serve this house. I was created in this realm, and it is everything to me. But you, your loyalty could not have been assumed.
Oh, I don't know. I felt I had no choice either except to serve this house. At least at first. But in training the prince, preparing him, I felt like I was living for something again. As strange as that may sound.
Nevertheless, given the circumstances of your life and servitude, you need not have given so much of yourself. The greatness of your mortal days followed you into death.
You are most kind, O Knight.
Yeah, Achilles, thanks so much. You're a good guy.
You know, I never knew the pomegranate seeds down in the underworld held such power, if not for your mother mentioning it, cuz. In here I thought they were just tasty. That was it.
Wait, so that means if you've tried one, and then you heard that Persephone apparently needs to stay in the underworld because she's eating them, wouldn't that make Hermes question whether he needs to stay down in the underworld or not? Or maybe he's just catching on that we lied. Hard to say. Or I guess Hermes could have just eaten the pomegranate, not the seeds. I guess that would also make sense.
Zagreus, you have a clever mother in Persephone. A very clever mother. And a lordly father. They make quite the team, that's evident. True rivals for Hera and me.
Mere moments from his final victory, the prince, in his great haste, ignored surveying each side of a rather busy crossing, where a swiftly passing chariot collided with him very forcefully. No!
Well, that was interesting.
What? What? Welcome to the House of Hades. Glory and death.
Zagreus.
Guess Persephone went to visit her mother.
I never stopped to think about why pomegranates grew here in the underworld. Mother's doing from before then. And all that stuff she told the Olympians about how they bind you to this place. It's all nonsense.
You know full well that the pomegranates in my realm hold a certain power beyond the tartness of their taste, boy. The Queen. She has a way with plants, you see. A bit of her own mother's gift, applied more sensibly.
You kept them growing all this time, flourishing even because of her.
They are very easy to maintain.
Aw, Hades.
Your mother's very clever, Zagreus. I always thought you got that from your father. Now I'm not so sure. So all is well with the Olympians again?
For now, I think it is. But you know how they are. How we all are, I guess.
Huh. Yes, indeed. Well then. I guess enjoy it while it lasts, as mortals sometimes say. I'll see you out there.
Bye, Than.
Everybody on Olympus, they're still going on about Persephone, queen of the underworld. They had no idea she was down there all along, none whatsoever, cuz. And as for me, now I can deliver you my blessings more officially, I think.
Zag, I cannot believe your mom's Persephone. That's something else, I gotta tell you, man. I never took her for the sort to be all into underworld stuff.
Although, there's been considerable talk of late about the Queen Persephone, stranger. Your mother, it would seem. Sounds to me your tale's almost as complicated as my own.
It's a long story at this point indeed. But yes, the Queen, my mother, she's returned. And it's been really good having her back.
I can only begin to imagine. May she help govern all of this with wisdom and with grace.
The never-learning Zagreus, then, carelessly fell off a precipice or something, plunging him into the rapids of the Styx.
Ah!
Did pretty well that time.
Hey, Adusa, let me guess. You're here regarding the procession of these shades who've been standing here for quite some time, clogging the hall a bit. They barely moved at all.
You guessed it, Mr. Hypnos. So, have you, given any thought to maybe focusing the traffic flow through here a little bit to keep the hallway clearer and, oh, I don't know, put some sort of time limit in place?
You know, can't say I have. I've got my registration list, and I have had to keep a careful eye on it. With all the shades that have been pouring in, it's really gotten slow around here.
It definitely has. I have to go. Hope you get yourself some rest, okay?
You bet.
He's finally returned.
Cerberus looks mournfully toward the prince.
Father, how are you doing without Mother around? Will she be all right on Olympus?
Clearly, she is more than capable of handling herself. And we here have been well accustomed to not having her about.
So everything's back to normal then? That sounds lovely.
Nothing is normal anymore. Besides, she shall return. Knowing that she shall return, is that not sufficient for you? Be patient, for once.
Glad you're handling it fine.
I'll tell you, nephew, I was quite taken aback to learn Persephone, she was your mother all along. Just disappeared up here one day. Ran off, I figured, as she's got some mortal blood in her. But she was with your father. That rascal is my brother after all.
Prince said, my understanding is the Queen herself is back. Is that correct? Moreover, I have heard a truly fascinating rumor about her.
That I'm her son. It's true, sir. And she's back with us for now indeed. I think we're all still getting used to it, but it feels good having her in my life.
That's wonderful to hear. I'd always heard good things about that one. No wonder such a quality runs in the family.
A fine selection there.
Good.
You and Mother got from there just fine. Don't worry, cuz. She had me looking after her and such. Seemed real nice. Told me to tell you hi.
Oh, thanks for telling me, Hermes.
Young Sprout, I cannot fully understand my daughter's choices, such as what she saw in your gloom-filled father to have eloped with him. But if you are the result, then she is clearly wiser than I estimated.
Aw, thanks, Grandma.
To think your father and that sweet Persephone, they were together down there all along. I was so certain that your father's heart was gold. That's just the thing with love, dearest, that sometimes it surprises even me.
Your good mother Persephone, she's here all safe and sound. How you should know there, little ladies. Shame you can't be here with her too, but doubtless we'll someday meet again.
So you cleared out some of the satyr infestation near the surface then? How come the change of heart? Not like you to assist Lord Hades in such things.
I wasn't trying to do my father any favors, Meg. Those satyrs seem to hate me just as much as him. My one way out involves a detour straight into their dens.
An interesting coincidence. At any rate, that's one less problem for the rest of us to deal with. Until the satyrs all come back at least, which won't be long.
Yeah, do they like reproduce super fast or something?
I suppose not.
Your good mother Persephone, dread queen of the underworld. I certainly misjudged her when we had occasion to interact whilst she resided on Olympus. Perhaps I too should consider a life there in your realm.
The latest reports indicate that mortals are fully twice as fearful of ending up in Tartarus as in our last evaluation period, thanks to the destruction you have caused. You are an unseen power in the underworld. Commendable.
Oh, thanks, Dad. So by like scaring people and telling them how scary the underworld is and how there's no escape, it makes them want to be better people so they don't end up in Tartarus when they die. Is that right?
Commendable. Me? An unseen power, huh? Surprised you're giving me the credit, Father.
I give credit where it's due. But the mortals? They know nothing of what transpires here. Only rumblings we permit to escape our realm. Rumblings that reinforce their deepest fears about what shall transpire after their demise.
So the more havoc I wreak in the underworld, the more mortals hear about all the unpleasantness, and it makes them fearful of this place. If more of them lead upstanding lives, it'll keep Tartarus from overflowing, I guess.
Precisely.
So I'm doing a good job. Yay.
There must be some mistake.
Hey look, I'm the employee of the month. Nice job, Zag. Congratulations.
The Elder Sigil shall never work for you, boy. Only a privileged few have unconstrained authority to traverse this realm, and you are not among them, I'm afraid.
I'm fond of running, thanks.
Sometimes I think about the goddess Nyx and how I long for her to be the mother that I never had, cousin. Is it improper that I say such things to you? One would expect I would already have somebody on Olympus, yet it often feels as though I am the mother here.
Nice to see my brothers getting on again, just like old times. Well, not exactly like old times, and come to think of it, there always was a bit of tension there between those two, but still, it's better than before.
You again. Everyone's saying that the Queen is back. Do you know what that means, Short One?
Well, for me at least, it happens to mean quite a bit. I'm her son.
It doesn't mean a thing. We're still here to fight. Though for what it's worth, my mother also was a queen. May yours treat you better than she treated me. Better than I'm about to treat you here.
I knew that you were more than capable. She has departed once again, your birth mother, the Queen. Although it was not as difficult to see her off this time, knowing she shall return.
Hey, but I didn't see her return either. I thought she was still gone on the same trip, but she came back without telling me?
It must be difficult for her, returning to Olympus. She had no love for it at all. I hope she'll be all right.
Do not despair. We have ways of watching over her. Not that I expect anything untoward to happen, but, well, with your family, one learns to take precautions, as you know.
Oh, Nyx means that this recent trip of hers is her second trip, technically, because the first one was when she initially left. Nyx isn't saying that she returned from Olympus and then went to Olympus again. I mistook that.
I'll miss her.
So shall I. But it shall not be long, I think.
It's been quite a few runs I've done since she's gone on her trip. I wonder how many more I have to do until she gets back.
Just one thing I don't understand, Prince Zed, if you'll indulge me for a moment here. If everything is all right for you at the house, then why is it you're fighting to the surface still?
Oh, you know, wouldn't want Father to get too comfortable thinking this place is foolproof. It has a terrifyingly ominous reputation to uphold. There is no escape.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, from a certain point of view, escape over and over to prove it can't be done. I like that. Well, let's both of us keep at it then. You got it.
Veiled in darkness. Asterius.
Well, you're back, Short One. Or Prince, whatever they call you. I'm not much for formality.
Not much for it either here, Asterius. Though, speaking of which, how would you prefer to be addressed? The Minotaur, the Bull of Minos? Those aren't offensive to you, are they?
They don't mean anything to me. They mean something to others. I have my name. You know it. Use it if you want. Now, enough. Your dear mother, Persephone, is a shrewd woman, Zagreus. More than an equal to your mighty father. I'm pleased to know you've made amends with her and taken new responsibilities within your house. Naturally, I'll continue to pitch in. And I hope that we'll meet again someday.
Zagreus.
Mother.
I knew you could do it.
Welcome home, Mother. How was your trip? Things go all right with you and Demeter? With Grandmother? Still getting used to thinking of her that way.
You know, it's funny. I think she was so overwhelmed to see me again that maybe something finally changed in her. I always thought she was utterly unyielding. She asked me if I truly came here by choice, and I put her at ease.
Oh, that's a relief. Grandmother can be rather intense, but she's been kind to me and very helpful too. Do you suppose she'll ease up on the whole eternal winter thing there on the surface now that she knows you're safe?
I asked. She told me that she would. Warmth shall return to the surface. Some of the time, at least. Likely on a rigid schedule, knowing her. And perhaps not in the vicinity of our domain. She's not the sort to forgive and simply forget.
That also explains why it's always going to be snowy when I reach the surface.
At least she forgave. It's good to see Mother's back. Not that I was too concerned, but I was definitely a little concerned.
I shared in that particular concern. And yes, it is good the Queen has once again returned. And she shall have to depart again before we know it, so cherish your time with her, boy.
Zagreus.
Zagreus.
Uh-huh.
I must say, nephew, although it pleases me that we here reconnected with your father's realm, just between us, it pleases me even more that you are able to keep sticking it to him. You keep that up, all right?
My little grandson, little Sprout. I've thought, if my Persephone's alive, why then, this winter, hasn't it endured for long enough? It's grown to have a certain stubbornness, but I am the goddess of the seasons, Zagreus. Perhaps it's time I changed them once again.
Everything is as it always was.
So, are you maintaining better contact now with Uncle Zeus, Uncle Poseidon, and the rest? Oh, and is it alright for me to speak about them here?
I'm certain the superficial messages we have exchanged shall taper off with time. We have always been apart, irrespective of the distance separating us. I know Zeus is content with your mother's version of events. Thus we are at peace, for now.
Wait, what do you mean, for now?
I mean only that our family is prone to causing problems for itself. Never content to leave things well enough alone. But if we have little to do with them, their quarrels, or their nonsense on Olympus, it should be of no consequence.
But their family...
Pah!
Oh, you guys are all together.
I just don't know how I can ever repay you. For raising him. For everything. After I left, besides old Cerberus, I think maybe I missed you most of all.
I can remember feeling similar emotions at the time. However, it is quite unnecessary to give thanks to me this way. You are the Queen, safely returned where you belong. I did what anybody would have in my place.
Anybody would have lovingly raised my estranged son while keeping safe my secret, eventually orchestrating an elaborate plot to reunite him with me, so that I might someday return to have a nectar with them in the lounge.
Precisely, yes.
I've lifted the cold from the earth, much as I said I would, grandson. But near your father's realm, I've decided it shall stay the way it is. Bereft of warmth. As a reminder to us all about all this.
Hate to keep you from your parchment work.
Enjoying the delicate warmth of the surface, Zagreus. Apparently the generosity of the goddess of seasons knows no bounds.
Does feel a bit different, maybe. Though Demeter said something about how this spot in particular would remain bereft of warmth as a reminder. Do you think she knows what happened with Mother, really?
Demeter may harbor vengeful feelings and suspicions, but she is no fool. Experience teaches us to know when to quit. Though evidently, that is a lesson you have yet to learn. If you do ever get the opportunity to spend some time up here, nephew, oh, I shall take you on a grand tour of the surface, from the depths of my seas to the height of Olympus. Sure, maybe not today, or tomorrow, or even the next eon, but sometime we should go.
So tell me, Father, just how much did it hurt your soul knowing my face is up there on the featured house servant board for all in the lounge to see?
Has it occurred to you that I alone have final say about whose countenance is shown up there? Although others who shall not be named did put in a good word for you repeatedly.
Blood and darkness. All my life I thought that board was a joke, but seeing my face up there, it felt good. Thanks, Father. Maybe it won't be the last time.
See to it. And well done.
Thanks, Dad.
Hello, young man. And might I offer you a little taste of the heavens themselves? Though don't go telling your old sulky father I've been spoiling you rotten.
So how is crusty old Hades faring down there of late, nephew? Fewer worries there upon his brow? That underworld of yours all running smoothly and all that? We'll keep on pitching in from over here. Least we can do.
Grandson, my daughter, Queen Persephone, she sent me the most precious message, courtesy of Hermes as of late. I'm pleased to hear that you are getting on all right, though I know you're at work. So here. I'm due to visit Mount Olympus once again, so please be good to one another while I'm out. You must visit us sometime up here, grandson. I understand the surface hasn't been agreeable with you, but perhaps if not in this age, then the next we shall have you over. It's brisk up here, but nice enough, I think.
Persephone, she says you're really stuck down there, born of the underworld, something like that? Well, if you ask me, that's no kind of attitude to have. You can do anything you set your mind to, nephew. Take it from me.
By the way, we had entirely a lovely time within your father's house, grandson. And to see Kore once again, it warmed my heart. I'm beyond grateful that your mother's safe, and that you've an important job to do. Here, I shall help. I made mistakes raising your mother, Sprout, when she was my Kore. I was blind to the possibility that she could have left me, but I see it now. If you become a parent yourself someday, may you listen more than I.
Hades kid. Hey, everybody's saying Persephone. She's back? That sounds like a bit of good news there, isn't that right, hon?
Hey, she is back, and yes, it is good news, thank you. She and I have a lot of making up for lost time left to do, though I think we're off to a pretty decent start.
It took a really, really long time for you to finally say this dialogue, because I'm assuming this is queued up after you finish the epilogue, but because I've reunited her with Orpheus, she's done a lot of talking where she just talks about that, or when I come and Orpheus is here, they just kind of give filler dialogue.
Well, that's a relief. And you're still here, so I guess you've got more official business to take care of, which means I've still got somebody to taste test for me every now and then.
Pride has been the failing of so many mortals, child, and has brought low members of your family as well. And yet, I am so very proud of you for what you have achieved. I wanted you to be aware of that.
That means a lot to me, Nyx. Though I never could have done any of this without your help. Even after I lashed out at you after I learned the truth about Mother, you never stopped caring for me. And you put yourself directly in harm's way defying Father's will. Why do all that for me?
I am eternally committed to this house. Long before your father came to rule, I was already here. When he arrived, I needed to do everything I could to keep order and establish with Lord Hades an agreeable relationship. But there is one more reason besides that.
To get on better terms with the Olympians. They always used to frown on the underworld, but now that they know us, they seem much more willing to get involved and help with things.
A reasonable guess, and not without some truth to it, but no, my child. My reason for helping you is simpler than that. It is because I love you. You may not be born of me, but I raised you like one of my own, and I have cared for you as I am capable.
Nyx, I love you too. Thank you for everything.
Aw. See, like, Nyx can sometimes be a little bit distant and cold or seemingly devious, as you'll see in some of the other little quest lines here, but he loves Zag. That's cute. I say that a lot in this game. A lot of things are cute in this game. Alright, so that concludes this episode with the epilogue and all the follow-up dialogue that I could find that was pertinent to the epilogue. Stay tuned for the next episode, in which we go over the fates of Orpheus, Achilles, Sisyphus, and the rest of the gang, and wrap up all the different side stories that are going on at this moment, and I'll also find out about Skelly's past. So stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks so much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.